Today on this 2016 Nissan Versa Note, we're going to review and install the Curt Trailer Hitch Receiver, Class 1, part number C11378. This is what the hitch looks like when it's installed on the Versa Note. You can see that it sits below the bumper here, just the receiver opening, and the rest of the hitch is actually hidden behind the bumper fascia, all except for one little section right here where it attaches to a tie-down loop. Now this is a great hitch to attach to your vehicle for such needs as a very small utility trailer, or in this case, maybe for a bike rack. And also some small cargo carriers as well will fit in our 1.25" opening right here. Also on the bottom here, we have our safety chain loops, which will accommodate a wide variety of style hooks that are out there. This hole is for the 1/2" diameter hitch pin. Carrying capacities, we'll go ahead and cover that now. It's going to be 200 pounds of tongue weight, which is the weight that pushes down on the hitch. And then you're going to have up to 2,000 pounds of pulling weight. Now, of course, you always want to double check with your owner's manual to make sure your engine and transmission and vehicle overall can handle those kinds of weights, depending on the model you have. Now we'll go ahead and give you some measurements to help you out in selecting some accessories, such as a bike rack or a cargo carrier. From top of the receiver opening down to the ground, we got a measurement about 10.5 inches. And from the center of a hitch pinhole to the outside edge of the bumper, it's going to be about 4 inches. Now we'll go and show you how we installed the hitch. To begin our install, we need to remove fasteners that are below the fascia here. That'll give us some extra working room. To remove them, take a flat blade screwdriver. There's usually a slot on the side. You work it in there and then work out the center part. Once you work out the center part, you can generally pull the whole thing out. So a little trim panel tool works pretty good too. This will give us some flexibility we need to put the hitch in position. Next up, we need to make more room for our hitch. The hitch is going to require a notch in the bottom of the fascia right here, which is on the very bottom, so you won't see it from when you're normally standing around the vehicle. To give you some measurements for that, starting from the center of this fascia hole right here, we're going to go over about 2 inches. I like to make mine just a little bit wider than what they call for, because sometimes the body panel can move back and forth. And then from that mark, I'm going to go over 2 3/4 inches right here. We'll transfer that down to the bottom. Then we'll make a measurement going from here up to here. Now from our edge here, we'll go up to about 2.5 inches. Using something that has a right angle to it, we'll use that to make our lines to cut. Now we'll go remove this section here. I'm going to use some tin snips. For our top right here, I'll get another straight edge and just make a light score with a knife. Then we'll take the plastic and just fold it backwards, and it'll snap. After our cut, we'll take a few moments to clean it up and get rid of any paint markings or whatever you use to mark the hole. At this point, we can go ahead and put the hitch up in position, get an extra set of hands to help hold the fascia back. We'll line up the hitch. It's going to go right next to the exhaust for now, and up inside, and over the metal tabs. And you can let it rest on the metal tabs. This is still going to be loose, so be careful. And we'll install some hardware through this tie-down loop right here. We'll take this 1/2 inch bolt. There's 2 different size bolts, so make sure you get the right one. We'll go through the hitch, out through the toe loop, and then a block, and then a 1/2 inch flange nut. That'll keep it from moving anywhere, and we can install the rest of the hardware. Now we'll take our small diameter carriage bolt. We're going to run it from this side of the hitch to the outside through the hole. Move the hitch as needed to run it through. Once the bolt's through, another block, and a matching locking flange nut. Just finger tight for now, enough to hold it together. This is our driver's side. We're going to do the same thing one more time over on the passenger side. On our passenger side here, there's going to be one important detail. There's going to be another spacer block like this that's going to go between the hitch and the metal. So I'm going to scoot it out a little bit. We'll put the block up into place. Bolt through hitch, then bolt through block, then bolt through the panel, and we'll push it through. One more block, and a flange nut. With the hitch still loose, we'll make adjustments to have it centered with our opening as best we can. Once we have it to where we want it, we'll start by tightening down our bolts hand tight. On this bolt, we'll need a 3/4 inch socket or 19 millimeter. And on the other 2 bolts that go up in the top, up inside here, we'll need a 11/16 socket. Now if you can get a hold of a swivel or a extension here that has a wobble into it, make it a little bit easier by putting a ratchet further towards the front. We got a little more working room. Now when we tighten down the bolt on the passenger side here, one little trick is actually push this little heat shield up and out of the way. You got plenty of room for your ratchet, and tighten it down. Next we'll use a torque wrench and tighten down the bolts as described in the instructions. Hitch is properly tightened down. Now we'll reinstall our plastic rivets. With it open just like this, we'll line up the hole in the plastic, push them in, press the center back in. That'll finish it for Curt Class 1 receiver hitch, part number C11378 on this 2016 Nissan Versa Note.